Welcome back to the show. We've got the 24th episode of Creating Swish with Claude, which is a Clojure-inspired Lisp for Swift. Let's show you what we did last week. So last week we're continuing to work on getting everything to pass the Jank Clojure Test Suite. So quite a bit done, but we still got a lot of work to do. And I just wanted to say my kudos to the Jay Wilkerson and everyone who's contributed to the Jank Clojure Test Suite. It's very comprehensive, and without it, I wouldn't get anywhere near a Clojure implementation, and I'm getting way more done than I ever thought I could. So, kudos to those guys. Anyway, so what we've got tagged literals, we've got UUIDs and dates. We're now handling .clj, :clj in reader conditionals, as well as preferring CLJC over CLJ in reader conditionals. We've got a .swish in reader conditionals. We've got the int functions. Dot is now a valid symbol. I bet you didn't know that was a valid symbol. I didn't. We fixed some issues with conj on lazy sequences and apply on lazy sequences. We added the realized functions. We had to do some fixes to compare. It wasn't handling symbols, vectors, or lists properly. Fixes to concat. It wasn't handling lazy sequences. More frequent fixes to conj bang. It didn't have the multi-arity versions of that function. Sorted set. FN ? Some FN, randint, more fixes to compare. Not a number predicate, sorted predicate. Disjoin was not accepting nil properly. Identical predicate. We now have the sorted map by, and sorted set by functions. We fixed some uses when working with integers and big integers and adding them together and whatnot. We've got a float and double functions. We've got the just function, toArray. We've got the true and false predicates, the if and predicate, and the name and namespace functions. We've got fixes to the keys and vals functions when passed non-maps. We've got the object array and array map functions, the parcel functions, some fixes to the merge functions, the any predicate functions. Ratio is now backed by a big int. The test suite was exposing some overflow errors, so to fix that, we back it by big int now. Double predicate, mod fixes. The mod function is now pure Clojure. Rem fixes, pop fixes, quotient fixes. Most of these have to do with handling big ints and big decimals. The delay functions, reverse sequence, character predicate, int array, long array, double array, float array, fixes the symbol function. We now have a type function, and unlike Clojure where it returns a class, we just return a keyword that represents our type, and that passes the Jank Clojure test suite. We've got the transient collection handling now. We've got the acid function. So bottom line, we now have all errors in the clojure.core-test portion of the suite. There's no errors, so we still have fails and skips. So going forward, we're going to continue to do that, and I'll show you where we're at. So we have 29 errors. That's in other namespaces, but 0 in the core test. We've got 347 fails to fix in all. There's 3 areas I'll show you, and 106 skips, which basically means missing functions. So if we look at the Clojure test suite, you'll see it's got these 3 areas. So core test, we have no errors, and then we still have to fix errors in Eden test and string test. And I'll just show you how comprehensive these are. So if we list out the core test, you got all these tests that you have to pass. A lot. And in Eden test, only 1. But I think there's a lot of tests in there. as you can see. So very comprehensive. And then finally, we have the string tests. Not too many, but they probably have a lot of tests in there too. So, I don't know what else to show you at this point. We're just going through the Clojure Test Suite, Jank Clojure Test Suite, and getting everything working. Basically, when I prompt, I will run the test suite with a function like this, except I just grep for error to find the next error to fix. I'm in the wrong spot. And again, this isn't going to show you everything, but it'll run through that and show me the first error. Of course, usually I do this with some context, right, like that. So I let that run. Then I will copy what it's testing and all the errors that are related, paste that into Claude code and say, I found these errors when running the Jank Clojure Test Suite. Please fix just these errors. And we keep going through that. And of course, before that, I've done some prompting to get it to run the Clojure Suite and get up to speed on that when we started a new session from scratch. So that's what I'm doing, and that's been working pretty good. Sometimes it goes into the weeds and I have to stop it, and start a new session. So you have to be very careful about prompting them and keeping the guardrails. So that's what's great about the Jank Clojure Test Suite, because it keeps the agent. It provides some great detail guardrails for the agent and keeps it focused. And then I also have the agent write some Swift unit tests. So there's a lot of Swift unit tests that were being built up as well that will run. So let's run that. You can see we're over. Well, let's see where we're at. Got 2252 tests that run in 1.8292 seconds. So that as well serves as a great guardrail for the agents. When I prompt it and it goes and does its thing, it has to make sure all of these tests pass, and all the Jank Clojure Test Suite, at least the errors that I told it, have passed, and we just keep going from there. So I will continue to do that until we get rid of all these errors and all the fails and all the skips. Probably won't be able to do that in the next week, but we'll make it as much progress as we can. So thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe, and if you want, buy me a coffee below, the links below. Please comment about what you like, what you don't like, if you want to see something different, questions you may have, please comment. So till next time.